Happy Saturday. Welcome to the stuff, the Shady Pines crew productivity sprints. I have had a weird ass day, so my brain is not firing in straight lines or any direction that it should.
I just can't get the darkness at the heart of my love out of my head. So that's probably all I'm going to do today is just listen to that one song on repeat.
I have gotten 1243 words today though.
I have been planting onions in Valheim because we finally found 3 seeds, a grand total of 3 seeds, and I'm trying to turn them into more.
Trying to parlay them.
I am cultivating plants. Oh, and I did finish the temple for Dum Dum and his glorious wolf brethren who helped us fight a demon god of death. 150 of them sacrificed their lives so that we might live. So I built them a shrine.
Shrine to the dum dum.
150 wolves died in that fight. 150. Like, I didn't realize how many I had bred until we were picking up the remains of their bodies after the fight.
Wow.
Yeah, of all the wolves we brought down there, only 4 survived.
That was a knockdown, drag out fight then.
Yeah.
Oh. So, yeah, let's see. Maggie was here, but she was not able to stay. She says, be blessed and have a happy weekend. We have CB here. Hello, CB.
Hello, CB.
We have Cool Gamer here. Hello, Cool Gamer. And Spence is here. Hey, Spence.
Hello, Cool Gamer. Hello, Spence. And I have to say, CB, every time I listen to Spielways off the new album, I think of you because it's got such strong Bon Jovi vibes.
Oh, and we have Persephone now, too. Hello, Persephone.
Hello, Persephone.
Persephone.
For some reason, every time I try to say her name, like my Irish genetic heritage tries to come out, and I don't understand that. Like, oh, hello, Persephone. Like, I don't know why that happens every time I see your name, but Sage,
Hello, Sage. I don't know why my voice got so high.
because there's excitement.
Is there excitement? Well, I mean, there's excitement for seeing Sage, yes. Um, Persephone says, hey, it works because I'm of Irish ancestry and a redhead, so it's all good.
I am also of Irish descent, but there are very few people that I notice like this really failed attempt at my voice going Irish when I say anything to them. And I don't understand why. That might be what it is. It might be like some genetic memory of like, I need to speak to you in the brogue of my people. Like I don't know.
Which is funny because I don't break out into Scottish accent ever.
I have a deep and abiding love for all things Irish. I really do. I've over the years sunk deeper and deeper and deeper into my heritage because growing up in the fictitious race of white, where there is no culture, there is no heritage, there is no nothing, when I was able to confirm that I'm basically descendant from three groups because there's a weird like bottleneck of interbreeding a couple generations back, and that explains me so much. But um, yeah, there's a little bit of English, a lot of Dutch, and a lot of Irish. So
Ugh. Oh, load shedding is hitting you again, Sage. I'm sorry. Ah, not the right buttons.
mm,
I was trying to pull up a timer.
are timers a thing?
Timers are a thing. I have not been able to find my gold timer. I don't know what's happened to it.
That's weird.
Oh, that has to happen.
I am nervous now.
Oh,
Nerves are
don't be.
official. You got
It's not one.
giggly. I know the kinds of things that make you giggly.
Well, no, because the uh, Munchkin cat kitten video made me giggle. So it could be blessed.
This is true.
Basically, if it's blessed or it's cursed, it makes me giggle, and you're not going to know which one until you see it.
Very true. I mean, you did make me watch that murder floof video.
That murder flute video was so cute.
It was adorable. Except for the one that looked like a weird pom pom with a cat face put on it and a feather duster sticking out of its butt. I don't understand how a cat can have that much floof and still survive. How are you not drowning in a sea of your own floof?
Oh, hello. Uh-oh.
Hello.
Frozen.
Yes, but it's in such a stately, stoic manner.
Oh, unfrozen.
Am I here?
You are now. You were frozen for a good, like, 30 seconds.
Lame. It's
Well,
okay,
I
I'm
have
here
to say that
now.
it wasn't one of the best pauses I've seen in a while. So, like, you didn't have like one eye, like almost inside out, or some weird, like, oh God, what is that smell face? That's
Right.
generally like when the internet decides to, I want to freeze frame right here. It's like, wait for it. We're not at the most unflattering face yet.
Right, that
And
half a
now,
second where you're exercising a demon, yes.
yeah.
So, I think enough people have been saying kittens, that I must at least show the first bit of it. It's the Munchkin cat thing that I shared.
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know
Hey,
what's going
wait.
on, but now I'm worried because of Charlie's reaction.
Murder floof. That's all I have to say. It is an overdose of murder floof. Like, have your insulin ready.
Oh, oh, oh,
All the murder floof.
oh my God, those babies murder me with that flu. I am okay with that. If that's how I die, I'm okay with that.
I said
Char-
the same thing.
I was gonna say Charlie was saying the same thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god, the fact that you can't see oh, their little feet. Oh my god. Those
It's like
sad eyes too. I don't know why the sad eyes are doing it for me, but oh my god.
it's like a pom pom with a cat face attached. Like, how are
Oh,
you not drowning in your own
that's the face
floof?
cat right there. I know that face. That is murder face.
Yep, because the pupils were 100% dilated, and the tail.
The tail is the size of the cat. How?
I'm just gonna put it out there. Why does Japan have better cats than us?
Because
Look,
Japan.
what is that? Look at that. Look at that tail. Like they glued a squirrel to his butt. Oh my god. Oh.
And the secret's revealed. He's so cute.
Hard for life. Worth it. Oh my god. Oh my god, except every time I see a white cat with blue eyes, I'm like, "Oh my god, that is a cesspool of genetic defects, but so adorable." Just in
Fail.
case anybody is curious, that is actually a thing. For some reason, I don't like they know why. It's a genetic thing, but um cats that are the combination of white fur and blue eyes have a ton of medical defects. Like there's just something weird. It's not like it's bred in or anything. It's just a sign that they're gonna have stuff. Um and I've had multiple white cats with blue eyes, so I can confirm that.
Oh,
Shush,
oh.
fluff. Oh,
Oh,
look at you, shush, fluff.
oh, the genetic disaster baby.
Wait, no, that's my name.
Oh my god, not while I'm drinking. I almost just spit that all over my computer.
How is that even a thing? How is that even a thing?
This could just be the entire stream and I'd be okay with that.
Wait, but does this mean we have to change our name from the Shady Pines crew to the Genetic Disaster Babies?
No, I think this is very Shady Pines.
They're just so cute.
This could be our version of riff tracks, us just watching
Oh,
kitten videos and commentating on it.
I just can't. I just can't. Like, especially because of the soundtrack that's going through my head right now. Like, you don't understand how. Like, I'm seeing this cat run down the hall, and I'm just hearing Tobias's voice, and the darkness at the heart of my love, so cold. Just and it works too well. And I'm just I didn't realize he wrote the cat's national anthem.
So, if
Nice.
anyone needs to rewatch that video, it is in the pets section of my Discord.
Nice.
So,
And yeah, CB, I've had two that were deaf. One that had really severe inoperable cataracts on her eyes, one that was like mentally handicapped. I know it's cat, but like you could still tell that, yeah. And then one that was epileptic. So yeah, there's all kinds of things. Deafness is one of the most common ones, but all kinds of things.
uh, we have a tabby that I am pretty sure is schizophrenic, like actual schizophrenic.
Yes.
Like she sees and hears things that no one else can, and
I mean,
it's
I have those moments with Chonk where suddenly he's like, I'm like, "What are you looking at?" And like, and of course, then I'm like, "What are you looking at?" And there's nothing there.
See, I
Ears
want
get
to
all pinned back, like, "Oh my god, this house is haunted, isn't it? I'm sure this house
I
is
want to
haunted."
believe that there's nothing there, but we have some moments where all three cats are just standing in a circle around absolutely nothing, growling at the air, looking up at it, and I'm just like, what demon spawn is hovering over in the corner that I can't see?
No, 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 no. It's not that a demon spawn is hovering. It's they are spawning a demon there.
oh,
That would make sense.
so
Yeah.
they're not demon spawn, they're demon spawners.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing when it's just like one cat and you're just like, okay, I can pretend that everything's fine. But when all three cats are like looking at the same, like, I see nothing. There is nothing there, and they're just like, you will die. Rawr.
And see, Willow, the one in my picture right there, um, and I'm pointing like you can see me point. She when she meows, you can't hear it. Like she does the mouth open.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Um, and I read that the ones that meow like that, it's actually supersonic.
Oh, they're just meowing in a frequency that we can't hear.
Yeah, it's just
That would make sense.
above
Yeah.
what we can hear. Um, and because of that, when the demon spawners are all looking in that corner, they're actually chanting, but you can't hear it because it's above your hearing range.
That's all.
Now I have a like weird mashup of Detox's Supersonic with Ghost's Darkness at the Heart of My Love, and they oddly work really well together, and I'm not okay with this because both songs are just playing over each other in my head right now.
Now I have supersonic from what is it, JJ Fad
Maybe.
back in the 80s. That's going through my head. The S is for super, the U is for unique, the P is for perfection, and you know that we are freaks.
I highly recommend Detox's version if you're not familiar. It's so like drag queen extra, and I love it.
Okay. I was just gonna say detox a drag queen. Yes,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. And in one version of the music video, her mom's in it, and oh my god, I need so much of them together. If you've never seen any of the videos on Detox's channel of cooking with my mother, you should definitely watch them because if you think Detox is just extra and cursed, she gets it all from her mom. Like her mom makes her seem blessed and really wholesome, and I love it.
I feel like that's probably like 25% of drag queens.
Yeah,
I feel like their moms are always like one way or the complete other way.
they're so wonderful.
Mhm.
Why are you wearing acrylics? We're gonna be baking today. They're gonna melt off your hands. It's gonna give you real claws because your bones are gonna be sticking through.
CB says I totally ranted about the Batman on my AO3 page in the form of a poem.
Yeah,
Oh, is that the new Batman
yeah,
movie?
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
watched
I didn't
three.
know it at first, and I was like, "That's what?"
I have
Got
watched three
it.
reviews, and they have convinced me that I do not necessarily want to see this movie. And they all agree on one thing, which I was hoping was a joke, like shtick, in the first review that I saw. And apparently, the movie starts with Robert Pattinson doing his worst Christian Bale impersonation as voiceover. I am the Batman. I wander the darkness of the night. And I'm like, this can't be real. And then apparently they forgot that they were doing that for like half the movie. And then all of a sudden he just starts doing it again, just
Oh,
randomly towards the end.
oh.
And it's like, the
But
last thing I
he's
need is Robert Pattinson doing a bad Christian Bale. Like, I don't need this.
but I do like the nickname that he has gotten, the Vampire Bat.
I can take that. Because I think they could have done so many good things. Like, Batman is an interesting character. I have read comics forever. There are so many good stories. Why can't you do one of them as a movie? Any of them. Like, I really don't care at this point. Do that whole like weird plot arc where he got trapped at a circus and had to deal with Catman because it would at least be funny. Because a guy riding a genetically modified house cat that is literally a giant murder floof because that's his super villain gimmick. Better than any of the Batman movies that have come out the
Love
last like 20
Is it
it.
years.
better is it better than the
Yes.
60s Batman movie?
Um. Okay. Two things on that. Number one, as somebody who's met all of the original Catwomen, I have to say the 1960s is superior. But nothing will ever beat the 1960s movie for the Bat Shark repellent. I mean, Adam West dangling from the Batcopter with a shark hanging off of his leg, fiddling with his utility belt, trying to find his Bat Shark repellent to get the shark to let him go so that they can fly away. I mean, chef's kiss of a moment in cinematic history.
Yeah, why can't they recampify Batman? Stop making it grittier and darker.
See, it depends on which Killing Joke you're talking about, Spence, because the comic I really, really like, even though it is like all the trigger warnings. Like all the trigger warnings, it was written by Alan Moore, and if you don't know who that is, just look up Alan Moore. Just search Alan Moore Swamp Thing. You will need so much eye bleach, you will want to die, and you'll be like, oh, do I want to read his Batman? I don't know. Do you like cursed things? But I love the comic. The comic is great. The movie version is bad because they did an animated version of The Killing Joke, and it is so horrible because they decided to have Batman and Batgirl have a relationship and animated them having sex on a roof just before she gets viciously sexually assaulted,
Oh.
which is a juxtaposition that I did not need in a movie.
No, not at all.
No.
And it's completely unnecessary. Like, he cared for Barbara Gordon almost like a sister or daughter, so we don't need to have him literally like She takes off his pants on the roof and just basically rides him for filth for no reason other than somebody wanted to get their erotica on film. So don't watch the animated version.
Fact.
And they animated that,
Yes,
which
they
means they
animated
spent days making that
that.
happen.
Some poor animator had to make some of those motions occur. Yeah. Definitely it was in somebody's AO3 version of the Killing Joke. I'm just saying. Like one of the writers was like, "No, this is coming into the actual movie." I'm like, "But really? Should it? Should it really?"
Now, I don't know why you don't like Robert Pattinson. Um, I mean, probably not for everyone, but he's kind of good looking. In the someone took a really, really, really hot guy and hit his face with a pan to flatten it.
I I liked him a lot more after I found out how much he hated Twilight. I was like, okay, I can respect that. You know what you did. This is fair. You were there for a paycheck. Got it.
Oh, side thing that I saw the other day, and I'm like, oh my god, this has to be a thing. And Spence will agree with me on this. You know the cat shaming pictures where they have
You
the
mean like with
cat with the note saying,
yes.
I did this. Um, they have someone, a bunch of people posted a series of dice shaming for their our tabletop RPGs like D&D games. So the die, it's like a picture of a 20-sided die with a 1 and it's like I caused my party to. And it's like, "Oh my god, that needs to be a thing."
I support that.
The worst series of botches I ever had in a game led to the most epic thing that I've ever done in a game, and I hate that so much because I had a character that I despised. I did not like them. I wanted them to die. So we were in a tower getting attacked by red dragons. The point was for us to run. I'm just like, I'm going up to the top of the tower. Like, why are you doing that? I'm going up to the top of the tower. You're supposed to be running. I'm going up to the top of the tower. Okay, what are you doing? I'm going to leap off of the top of the tower with my dagger, and I'm going to attack that red dragon as it flies by, stabbing it in the eye. Death. Yes, because even if I hit it, red dragon, it will eat me. If I miss it, I will fall to the ground and die. No, I rolled so many 20s in a row that I went up 15 levels. Like I was OP. And I was like, you gotta let me go. Like I can't be hanging around these other people because I'm OP because I killed a red dragon single handed. But I not only hit it in the eye, I like apparently perforated its skull, went into its brain, which then the brain case helped me save my pass my saving throw when we hit the ground, and I did not die from the impact. Like 20s all across the board, and I just wanted that character to die. Worst botch ever. Worst botch ever. Kind of epic though.
Spence says, "I live for cat shaming pictures. We definitely have put dice on the naughty shelf before." All right, are we ready to sprint?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you will see that what made me giggle was not that it was cursed, it was actually blessed. It is a baby Groot timer.
Oh no. I don't think you understand how much my husband loves Baby Groot and how much Baby Groot stuff is in this house right now.
So we will sprint in 3, 2, 1, go. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, so Spence just said, got out, or got most of the way through a task when the big sad came out and bitch slapped me. I am sorry. I am looking at my document and really disliking a word, and not because it was my word choice, but because the word itself is just like, "Ugh." And it's the word popping. And the phrase is, the partial phrase is popping the umbrella open. But I can't look at that word and not change the letter and see pooping.
That is a you problem.
It is a me
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know the sentence is not pooping the umbrella open.
I mean, if you want it to be, but that would be really bizarre.
Is
Very.
is this your own story or is this somebody else's that you're editing?
It is my own story.
I mean, you could always just say opening the umbrella.
I know I could. I wanted to give it
I
flair, but
I am currently sifting through hundreds of photos of women in bikinis. It is a great hardship. It really is. It's for a book cover. And of course, I told myself to make this as simple as possible. And the first like reasonable image, just go ahead and take it. Don't be picky this time. And then I was like, oh, but like if her bathing suit is the right color, I can match the text box to it because it's for a collaboration. So like we have
hmm
a template for the book cover design and the writing is in like a colored box. So we could pick the color of the box. And I was like, if I get somebody in the bathing suit that's the right color, then I could do that. And everybody's in like white or black or like pastel bathing suits and none of them work. And then there's always the um I'm sure I'm not the only one who has this issue when I'm trying to do book covers. Most of the photos are super cropped, so it can be extremely difficult getting a
Yes.
photo that actually fits the size that you need it to be, but without having to do like photoshopping and putting a different background on it. And I don't want that kind of work right now when I'm in the middle of like packing everything up and all of that. So this is
Depending
actually a bit stressful, but also it is women in bikinis.
depending on where you're getting your pictures from, you can often just add the word portrait to the search, and it will just
Oh,
show you.
so the problem is actually that it's basically a square image because of the template that we're using.
Ah,
Yes. So yeah, that is a good trick in general. It just isn't working for me.
yeah. I figured you would know that, but I,
Yeah.
I've I've realized lately that a lot of things that I take for granted as just general knowledge that people
Right.
have apparently isn't, because I've been doing this
Right.
way too long. So
And then there's also when you're looking at like model images, which since because of the genre I write, usually I am, there's also that issue where they'll like crop part of the face or like top of the head off and stuff like that. And like, no, actually, I needed that part of the body as well.
yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah, I guess they're, more aiming for the demographic of like websites that want it already cropped to like a reasonable picture, but like, no, I needed the rest of the photo, please and thank you.
Which I honestly don't understand, because most modern CMSs will auto crop for
Yeah.
you. So that's really an old school problem that doesn't need solving anymore.
No, no, it
They
doesn't.
still
Like
are, I mean, but yeah.
cropping is so easy, and I feel like I'm on Shutterstock, and I feel like Shutterstock literally has a cropping option for you. I'm pretty sure that on Shutterstock, I can crop these images. So there's absolutely no reason for it except that the photographer was like, no, I'm cropping all of this.
Spence, I am so very sorry. That really sucks. Um, yeah, I don't want to put that out here, but
Spence, what kind of stuff are you donating? Some places that take donations will pick up.
so while we're waiting for that, so I can't talk about like the actual content of the manuscript that I'm editing, but I can say that there is something very unusual about this one, and that is that it starts out super weak, like DNF week, and then the middle is good and the ending is stellar. And
Hmm.
I don't see that very often. Usually it's people put like all their effort into the beginning to make it like bang.
That's actually a me problem. I do that. I am notorious for weak beginnings, especially in the first book in the series, which of course is like the worst fucking place to do that. But here we are.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
glad the rest of the story's good though.
I'm currently struggling through not exactly writer's block, but I focused so much on the first chapter of Rebirth that I'm just like I can't ever do this again. Um it has emotions, it has feels. These are things I don't do in my writing. How am I supposed to do that in the rest of this now? What have I done?
So I forget what brought it up last week, but there was a picture that I was like really pissed off during the stream that I could not find, and I was just looking for something else during the past week, and I found it, and it's one that some people have seen. I know Spence has seen it, but it makes me think of Spence, and it's this one. It's a book cover. I made muffins.
I do remember talking about that last week, and I don't remember why either.
After a fateful batch of burned scones, Violet made a pact with the devil and became the dark blueberry queen of Hades.
Oh, that sounds like a title I really want.
Which one? The dark blueberry queen of Hades?
Yes. That just, I don't know why. I'm jealous now. Like, I want to be the Dark Blueberry Queen of Hades. How do I become the Dark Blueberry Queen of Hades?
Somebody says, I mean, I'd read that.
I mean, those of you who have read my stuff before know I'll write that.
Yes, but you'll give the muffin the penis.
Well, no. You'd be getting the penis while making muffins.
And that'll be
That's
all
why I found out
blueberry.
today that that fruit gushers are vegetarian. I haven't had these things in probably 20 years, and they're a
Oh,
lot
no
weirder than I
gelatin.
remember them being.
So they don't use gelatin.
No, no, they
Huh.
use cornstarch and carnauba wax and carrageenan, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um, a lot of the store brand ones don't have gelatin in them, like the regular fruit snacks.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is stuck in my teeth now. There we go. So I went to Walmart to get the Walmart ones, and they were sold out. So I was just poking around, and I was like, I don't know that I've ever actually looked at the ingredient list on fruit gushers. And yeah, it was good. Why is
Muffin Dick puts a new spin on blueberries.
Oh my.
Well, why is carrageenan illegal in the UK?
I know a lot of people have allergies to it.
It's seaweed.
I,
I mean, a lot of people have allergies to like everything else that is in this.
I,
Yeah,
I I don't know the actual answer. I just that's the only thing that I can think of is
I
I'm
have
Googling
trouble with
now.
fruit gushers because of my teeth, or with fruit snacks because of my teeth. But the fruit gushers are my favorite of them, just because a fruit snack that comes in your mouth is just awesome.
gayest thing said today goes to Grace. And yes, totally agree.
Now, anyone who has sensitive
Apparently,
uh
it causes colon issues.
we
Um,
made fruit and muffins dirty.
it it's never caused me problems, so whatever. I'm gonna keep eating it.
So
It's
speaking
the
of
American way.
dirty things, today I saw a porno that actually made me crack the fuck up. And I don't think I've ever truly seen comedy porn before. Um, but this was very obviously intentionally funny. And it was like a Ghost Hunters type spoof. And these were just like stupid Ghost Hunters. And yeah, I can't share much more other than that it was like the funniest thing I've seen.
All I know is my mind is randomly generating really bad, dirty puns for poltergeist and other such spoopy words, and I don't know how I feel about any of this.
I have seen, I don't know if it actually ended in sex because I don't know how it would have, but I didn't watch it far enough to find out. But a friend once showed me a porn that had a, a porn actress in her underwear on roller skates in a house roller skating away from someone in a T-Rex costume, like that generic inflatable T-Rex costume. Which is why I say I don't know if any sort of sex. I mean, I guess if they had like a dildo or whatever,
Oh, so
they
many
could have
questions.
made it happen. But like, I don't think there is a way to get a dick out of one of those costumes without deflating the costume. Honestly, I have no idea how they work. And now I'm curious, how do you pee in that thing? How do
You
they
take it
work?
off.
You just like, is it a, like, how do you, oh my God, I now have so many questions about those costumes that I never thought about before. Like, is it a whole nightmare? It has to be, right? You just gotta hold it.
Well,
So,
there is the whole trend of the dino sex now.
so the
You
moment
mean like the novels, the
Yes.
like I got fucked by a T-Rex. Yeah.
I realized that YouTube knows me way too well was when I loaded up my homepage the other day and there was a video there simply titled "How Did Victorian Women Pee?" And it showed a woman just kind of looking at the hoop skirt with a terrified, like, "Oh God, what now?" face. And I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my, YouTube, stop knowing me."
I mean, not to get too like educational, but they didn't wear underwear.
Yeah,
If
it was
any,
extremely education. This was an oddly educational video that explained that, and
yeah. Like, if anything, they had this split crotch bloomers, so they just kind of squatted, like.
And also, apparently, it was common to sit on the toilet backwards to keep the bustle out of the way in
That's
places
fair.
that had them. And she's just like, this may not sound like it works. And then she just like hikes up the front of her hoop skirt and like waddles
Yeah.
over. And I'm just like, this like really fancy Victorian toilet. And I'm just like, all of the
There's
queens
also
somehow became less glamorous. Just like, boom.
there's also, like, a painting that literally shows a woman lifting her skirt up, and I believe somebody else is holding a chamber pot for her. Um,
This
but,
painting does
like,
exist, and it was included in said video.
oh, there we go. Was there a servant holding it, or was she
Yep,
holding it? I don't
it was a
remember.
servant
Okay.
because she made a very well timed Mel Brooks "It's Awfully Nice to Be the King" joke, which I personally appreciated.
Nice.
But yeah, I wonder a lot about like in ye olden times about various like things we take for granted that I'm just like having lived in the 1860s as I have, like how did our actual ancestors deal with all this mess?
A lot
And
of it was nightmare.
yes,
Nightmare by our definition, but just life for them.
just mm.
Yeah.
That was the day I knew that YouTube knew too much about me and I might have to just disappear. I mean, in
Um,
fairness, I have been Googling a lot of like everyday life in Victorian times stuff because I have a side project that I've been playing around with, but
yeah, that's the thing for me is that it's not that YouTube or Google or anybody else knows me as a person. They know me as a writer. So like I definitely get recommended like baby supplies and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I'm not. This is not my 37th pregnancy. I just write romance.
YouTube very definitely thinks that I am a Viking Reconstructionist neo pagan with satanic influences. And I'm just like, I see where you got that, but no.
I will say, YouTube is probably the most accurate because they're like, you just want to watch videos of cake. And I'm like, I do just want to watch videos of cake. So that's fair.
And yes, I had to. I saw it in my.
Specifically Asian videos of cake and also Trixie Mattel.
So when I was 19 years old, I once had a boyfriend who thought it was fun at the moments before the naughties to actually go thunder, 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 and I just like he never understood why I was not in the mood anymore. Like I don't know what kind of kink you're trying to like activate right now, but you failed every possible way.
Would it have worked if he had said Thundercats, ho?
No, because I had a real thing about being called a hoe. I once got sent a thank you card from somebody after a date and like wept for 3 days because I was pretty sure that meant I was a prostitute now. Like I'm living in a Julia Roberts rom com right now and I hate it. Thank you.
I do not think that means what you think it means.
Oh, you'd have to have read the card.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I
Just
am
kidding. I've never
omitting
sent a card to a
context
prostitute before.
for the blessed sake. For the blessed sake of everyone's souls, I am omitting context.
I enjoyed that side look. That wait, did I just say what I think I just said? Were those the words that came out my mouth?
It was a fair and accurate statement. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I've ever set a card to a prostitute before. Because I don't know what people do in their spare time. I don't know.
So I found out something about myself. Speaking of cards, back in college, I went on a date with this guy, and this was back when you actually set updates by phone because we didn't have texting back in the very late 90s. Um, and he was like, "Is it all right if I bring you flowers?" And the thought of that terrified me. And I'm like, "Please, please don't do that." And so when we met, he brought me a card, and that terrified me. And I was just like, "No, I don't think you get the issue here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I am not the one to shower with gifts. I don't know how to take them."
So for me, it could be the fact that I have had creepy stalker guys in my past, but like that would absolutely give me creepy stalker vibes right off the bat.
In the greatest irony of all things that are me, the only stalkers I've ever had in my life were all female.
Not, I mean, irony in my life, the only stalkers I've had were male.
That
Two
one
Was
of
feels
them.
less ironic and more just the world we live in, but
Well,
um
that's fair. That is fair.
I do want to write a thriller about one of them because she thought that she could woo me by following me very slowly in her car playing Boys Don't Cry by The Cure at like full max volume because somehow this is romantic.
You know, here's the thing with that though, is that like IRL absolutely creepy as fuck, but like I could see that happening in a romance.
in a rom-com.
Yes.
Yeah, this was not a rom com. I could not
Exactly,
I could
exactly.
not listen to The Cure for years.
Like, if it was what's his name with the radio over his head outside your bedroom window,
John Cusack.
John Cusack, yes. Um, yeah, if that happened in real life, that scene is stalkery.
Yeah, very.
But I think part of the reason why all that stuff is stalkery today is because it was considered romantic once upon a time, like, and people have taken that to heart and are just like, well, it worked in the movies. I'm going to use this on someone who doesn't like me.
But like even in the time of those movies that we're referencing, it was stalkery. We
Not in
just
all of
were
them. I
we as women specifically just
Yeah. Oh,
weren't
oh, yeah. As
good.
women, yes. I was just saying
And
culturally, because just remember, like one of the quote unquote romantic songs in My Fair Lady is "I'm here on the street where you live." Like it's literally the
yes,
stalker's national anthem, and this is one of the romance songs of the maybe he's the good choice guy.
right. And that's it. And like certainly um all people have the propensity to be stalked by all other people, but like the majority would absolutely be women stalked by men.
Hmm.
At least in those times. And those times I'm referring to the 80s and 90s and earlier. And it was still a time where I mean, not that we're not even still in that time now, but like it wasn't necessarily a good idea for a woman to be like, "Hey, this is really bad and stop doing this." And again, we still kind of have that where it's still hard to say, you still have the people who are like, well, you should just let the guys do what they want to do because you're being really mean to them if you don't let them stalk you. What is wrong with you? But and like, so I don't like want to gender the whole thing, but certainly I think a big factor of it and why those things were still happening in movies in the 80s and 90s is that women still were not able to speak up and say, hey, this is actually like a really fucking terrible thing you're doing, even though we all knew and we all like discussed amongst ourselves that this is a
Mhm.
bad thing that is happening. Certainly everything that was, any industry that was driven by men, like the film industry, would have been like, yeah, this is really cute and romantic that he's stalking her.
Yeah, I was actually having the discussion in a uh, chat comment section at the bottom of a video, and people were saying, well, something like, back in the day, you know, and it was about the magical, like, love spell type of thing, how they tended to be men getting women to fall in love with them. And they were talking about, how actually that problematic that is, like
Yeah.
the agency being taken away. And they were like, back in the day, uh, that was just something that happened. And I was like, you do realize that back in the day, quote unquote, is like 4 years ago.
Um,
Um,
so
because people didn't start actually talking about that topic and having the writers and producers of these shows start actually paying attention to,
Hmm.
oh my god, this is wrong, until like Me Too started. Uh,
Hmm.
Before that, that was just how things were. Everything was written from the male gaze.
so this is as a fan and an aficionado of the occult and the esoteric, I have always found it problematic that with the rise of Wicca, there it became this idea of the love spell. And I've really phrased it that way because when you look in old grimoires, when you look in old magical codices, you will not find a love spell. You will
Hmm.
find an erotic binding spell. They were very clear about what was going on. There was no
Yeah.
illusion of, I'm going to make this person fall in love with me. It was, here's how to use magics to trick somebody into the naughties. They were very upfront about it, and often contained large tracks about, this is really, really terrible and you will never have a relationship with this person. Maybe don't do it. Like,
Hmm.
and we're talking about like 15th, 16th, 14th century manuscripts that were like kind of ahead of their time. What do you think about it? Like, I mean, they were ahead enough in their time to not be like, maybe well, don't do it, but if you really have to, stick a pin in the foot of a corpse and then stick it into the butt of the person you're in love with, and they'll totally do you. By the way, favorite actual love spell in a spell book I've ever read. That's real. That's actually a thing. Roman magic was disgusting and led to sepsis quite often. Um,
CB says, even the author who must not be named use Am- Amortentia in her books, the most powerful love potion in the world, which Rodden was poisoned by. Yeah, the episode, the comment section I was in was a reactor reacting to an episode of Buffy. It was the Xander love spell episode where he was trying to get Cordelia to. He was basically trying to get revenge on Cordelia for breaking up with him and
Yeah.
accidentally caused every other female to fall in love with him.
Yes.
Luckily, and this luckily for that episode, it was a case of everyone knowing that no, you don't do that. this is a bad thing. And how are you so stupid, Xander? And Xander's like,
Yeah,
I,
yeah, that
I
was
am that
why,
stupid.
like, that would have been the only character who would ever have done something like that because he was the idiot of the show. Yeah,
But yeah, it was
Xander
basically
did dumb shit all the time. Here's Xander doing more dumb shit.
exactly.
Because his penis got diseases from the Shumash tribe. So I
Yeah.
can't think of Xander without that line from.
Yes. Yes,
Why is
did.
it always me who gets the funny syphilis?
I just feel like in so many ways, like that is the best like one sentence high concept explanation of Xander I have ever seen. And his penis got diseases from the Shumash tribe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It did. It so did.
Yeah.
Which was a great episode, even though that episode was it was so wrong. The one with the Shumash tribe.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go back to pretty much any show that was what 25 years ago now that show started, you're going to have that shit. Like it is what it is, and we just have to.
But they were
Except what they
trying
did
to
though, that
address
they
it.
actually had lesbians. Look, guys, it's lesbians. Oh my god! Like you have to just accept that. Like they were as progressive as they could be for that era.
I
And
think
it
the
is.
only reason that episode fell well, it doesn't fall flat across the board, but the reason the the oof factor of it is because it is so comedically handled. Like they even talked about it in the episode how okay, the situation sucks and we hate that we have to do this because, the ghosts of the native tribe that our people slaughtered are trying to get revenge and we have to do the horrible thing of taking out the ghosts of these people that we already took out and
Yeah.
just double down on the horribleness. The and like I said, the only reason it fell flat is because it was done in a comedic way. It was
Um,
haha, this is funny.
yes. Um, Also, just for the record, my favorite line from that episode was "Bear, you
Uh-huh.
made a bear."
Yes. Oh wait, you need the next line. Undo it, undo it.
Do it, yes. And Buffy melting down over making Thanksgiving dinner. Like all of it is what it is.
Mhm. Yeah, it would have been a super awesome episode if it weren't for the fact that they made light of the fact that they had to re-kill the native population.
Yes.
And this is where I think people like me have been really trying to have conversations in ways that don't get us canceled
Hmm.
about like how are we going to do a modern ethics, because we're trying to as a culture do a modern ethics right now, but we're not putting any forethought or um what's the word I'm looking for, consistency in
Hmm.
how it is being applied. And it's a little jarring and really hard to understand what rules are at all because we don't have them yet. We're still coming across them. And I've felt this more and more with watching older shows because we just did a rewatch of Chuck because they put it up on HBO and I was like, I loved that show. And then there's the episodes where they use a phrase I don't think I'm even allowed to use on YouTube anymore for trans people, not the T slur, a different one, that in the community at the time, because I was in it, it was used jokingly and with affection a lot until we decided, no, we are not going to do that anymore. And so I see how it got into the show in the way that it did as a time capsule of the time. But
Mhm.
it was oddly jarring to suddenly hear this word that we have now collectively decided, oh no, we're just not going to use that word anymore.
Well, I
And
mean, look at the R word.
Mhm.
That would have been in every single thing you ever watched like 10 years ago. And now, like, my phone won't even accept it as a word.
I
yeah,
we
Uh,
I
right.
watched an episode of Classic Concentration. Um, it was on the Game Show Network. It was an episode from it looked like the early '80s by how they were dressed. And one of the women contestants on the show, the host says, "What do you do for a living?" And she says, "I teach our children." And I was just like, "Oh."
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
It's these are interesting times.
Mhm. But then
so
I was stuck in
CB,
a debate the other day with somebody over the use of the word psychopath. Um, it, they were offended because some article used the word in the title of the article, but also the word was in quotes. So clearly it was a quote from somebody in the article that they picked that word from. And also, psychopath just isn't a medical term anymore. Like
Yeah,
that's no longer the term. It's now ASPD. So it's not really, I don't know. It's that debate about, is this now an offensive word or is it just not even a word because it's not actually referring to anything? Like, is this a fair word to use? And I mean, I personally think it's a totally fair word to use because it's not referring to somebody with ASPD. It's this, it's a monster term basically at this point. But like, yeah, like there's, I don't know, like our lexicon is just changing and it's hard to keep up with that and like keep that presence of mind when you're watching older stuff where these words were very much present in the lexicon.
because we're not France. We don't have a governing body that dictates what our language is.
Mhm.
Not many countries do, but some countries do. I think of France just because they recently made a ruling on how to address non-binaries officially in French. Um, which I was confused by French to begin with, and now even more so. But um,
I hadn't thought about that before, but like languages that have masculine and feminine,
yeah,
that must be way more complicated.
yeah, and the what is it, Académie Française, that is in charge of the official, like, this is French. Like, they are charged by the government to govern what is officially French language. Recently made a ruling on that, and we don't have that in English, and that is a good thing
Hmm.
because I don't think we should donate that power to any group. But
Certainly not the people that it would go to in this country.
yes,
yeah.
Like,
but
there could be a valid group of people to give that power to, but they're certainly not the ones who we would give that power
and the
to.
important thing to understand is if you've talked to one person from any class of people, you have talked to one person from any class of
Yeah.
people. And this is where, while yes, some consensus is starting to be reached on various terms and stylings of language, like there's still a lot of debate as far as
Mhm.
like what within the communities themselves. Like I was talking about this with some people the other day. Like, I personally preferred the specific pronouns. I think that a lot of the neo pronouns are really useful and I would prefer them. But getting people to use new words is a battle I do not have the energy for.
Yeah.
So I repurposed existing words. And that, so I got me called a traitor, and I love that for me. But like, mm, there's a lot of discussion going on in a lot of these things, and what may feel settled, if you're not actually in the group that is having the discussion on whatever the topic is, you probably know such a thin sliver of surface
Mhm.
level discourse that has leaked out into the not that group discussion about those
Yeah.
topics.
There are several parts of my life that put me in categories of words that could be considered slurs. And I have, on numerous occasions, gotten some sort of a label like a traitor for my opinion on it. But never by other people in that group because it's always people who don't understand what it's like to be in that group. I do have ASPD. You know what happens with ASPD people? We tend to not get offended by things. I don't care how you use psychopath or sociopath or ASPD. It is what it is. Um, and then I have a stutter, and apparently it's really offensive to use the word stutter now. I'm like, you know what? It takes us long enough to get down the word stutter. Don't make us use another word. We're never going to be able to do it. Like,
Yeah,
so.
it's an issue with, see, I'm not gonna say Karens in general because there
Mhm.
are right Karens and there are left Karens, and this is a
Mhm.
problem that the left Karens cause.
Oh
Mhm.
yes,
The
I
I am going to
Yeah.
stand up for you whether you want me to or not.
Yeah.
and
This
I
is
have
why
been
I
told
left.
by many a cisgendered straight person that they know better than I do about my own life.
Mhm. This is why I left the NaNoWriMo Facebook group because it is filled with those people, and you can't even have a reasonable conversation about it because as soon as you bring it up, even from like an academic standpoint or let's talk about what the right way of doing this is because I am not sure. You are immediately labeled as an offender for not inherently knowing, even if you are simply asking what is the right way of doing this. Like, automatically, you're an offensive person for just
Mhm.
not, like, how dare you not know how to handle this already? I see it. I mean, I left the group a few years ago, but I used to see it all the time. That was where the stutter issue happened. Like, and my opinion on stutter was like, I'm not offended by it, but like, I can understand why other people might be offended by it. But as somebody with a stutter, I personally am not offended. And they're like, you're not allowed to voice your opinion if you don't agree with us that it's offensive. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to leave this group now.
I am also
Oh yeah,
somebody
maybe you're
who,
absolutely right. There is a big problem with ableism in that group as well.
yes,
It is super fucking weird. Anyway.
yeah, I am also somebody who struggled with with a stutter, and I still have a silent stutter. That
Mhm.
if you pay attention to my speech patterns, it is still there.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have been told that I do not have the right to talk about things like that because, but you're eloquent in the way you talk, so obviously you're lying.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't know how much work I put into my
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I've told you before I had a speech impediment until I was 27 years old. Like I went through hell to get rid of that and to be able to speak as well as I do. That's why I always get real pissy when people get on Biden about when his stutter occasionally comes out. Like no, he used to have a really bad stutter and it's incredible that he was able to overcome it as well
Yeah.
as he did. And like whatever else you think about Biden, you're a fucking asshole if you're going to attack him about occasionally stuttering when he has an actual stutter. Everybody knows this.
Yeah, but the people
You just don't.
attacking him in general are just assholes anyway. Like,
Yeah,
jeering him while he talks about his dead son.
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
and I've been called ableist for some of the self-deprecating humor that I have over my own inability to stand up, walk, have balance, have legs that are functional. Like, I've been in and out of wheelchairs my
Hmm.
entire life. I'm allowed to make jokes at my own expense.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not insulting all people. I'm just talking to my
Yeah,
little bitch knee who just decides every now and then, no, I don't work. Maybe I should bend backwards today. No.
yeah. And like, I feel like people who are in the non-categories where they
Mhm.
don't have these issues and they, regardless of whether it's a disability or a gender or sexuality thing or a race thing or whatever, they don't understand that, like, part of us using those terms or speaking in ways that are offensive is also a coping mechanism.
Yep.
It's how we deal with the otherness. And, like, no, absolutely. You want to make self-deprecating comments? Go for it. It's you. It is your own words. It is your body.
It's why a lot of queer people of my generation did our best to try to reclaim the F word for
Mhm.
us. And it wasn't because, oh, we're going to be cool and edgy. It's you needed to know the difference between somebody joking, somebody who's just saying it in the heat of an argument, and when a fist, knife, or gun is about to be put forth to do you harm. And so you have to take the edge off the word.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that if you're not in a group that there is a word that could mean either somebody's really mad, somebody is just being offensive, and somebody may be about to do harm to me.
Yeah.
You don't understand why you might want to reclaim that word so that you're not frozen like a deer in headlights when you hear it and know if you need to dodge, duck, run, or throw throw fists back at somebody. Because I hear people talking about reclamation all the time, and it's like,
Mhm.
talk to me when you actually have a word that's not the C word that we're no longer allowed to say on the internet that actually causes you to fear for your life.
Mhm. I was talking about somebody, I don't remember what the correct term is. And he was like, I hate the term and I refuse to use it outside of the internet groups where I'm forced to. He's colorblind. And he was saying that, like, in colorblind support groups, they're not allowed to use that term anymore because it's considered offensive because of the other usage of it. And I'm like, dude, it's your term. Like, it's not the fault of somebody who can't see color that, like, some dipshit refused to acknowledge race and borrowed that term
Right?
um, as a way to pretend that cultural differences don't exist. Like, no, it's your word. You use it. That's ridiculous.
I have realized that we have only done one sprint.
Yeah, yeah, we did. We did that thing.
I do
We
have
get
an.
chatty.
Yes, we did.
We should probably hang out like outside of just this one stream so we can get the chat out if we want these streams to be more productive.
We haven't even talked about the Nazi romance yet. Anyways, let's do another sprint. Oh my god,
The
romance
what?
TikTok and romance Twitter is losing its shit right now. Anyway.
Oh, they so are.
Yes.
I found a kitty timer.
It is.
So we will sprint in three, two, one. Meow. Meow.
Oh my god, why?
It was a kitty timer.
Oh my god. That poor dying cat.
Meow.
Is she
Oh
ill? Is she in heat? What's going on?
no! When she's in heat, she goes now. Yeah. I'd ask how we did during that sprint, but I know several of us who were talking about the kitties the whole time.
Oh, I now see that conversation, yes. I did actually settle on a picture, so I actually did shit during that sprint.
Yay!
Yeah.
Eh,
I am waiting for my coffee to finish brewing so I can
ooh,
come back to my seat. It's
oh, that
taking
was really hot.
forever.
Do you have a regular coffee pot or do you have a Keurig that is slowly dying like mine is?
We have a Keurig that has serious prostate issues.
Yes. That was mine today. And I had to make 2 cups of coffee because one is for work tomorrow because I make it the night before. And I would say all told, it took me 20 minutes to make those 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, it's taking a while, and the best part about it is I now know what a robot who needs to pee really bad but just can't sounds like.
Yeah.
So if I ever need that for a story, I mean, I know that
Yeah.
sound that it makes when it's trying to. Yeah,
Same sound by me.
good times, good times.
Yeah, so as nice as that timer was, that's probably not gonna be a repeat because I don't get anything done when I'm watching kitties.
Yeah.
But
I,
it
I
made
thankfully had something else that I needed to do because this is something that like they've been plotting this out since December and I've been in the group but haven't actually committed and they were like we need everybody to commit by mid-March and I'm like oh shit it's mid-March right now.
true.
But I figured it would be a reason for me to do an itty bitty nano next month.
Oh,
Yeah, that is next month is camp.
the banana.
Yeah. And I will be moving, but it's okay. This is smut. We're doing 7 to 10K on these stories. I can handle that.
Yeah, you say that, but I'm working on smut that no, that's it's going way above and beyond. Um,
So, my life was obviously very different last nano. Oh no. No, last nano I barely did it because I was in the same hell that I'm in now. The previous nano I wrote 110,000 words. I think I can get 7 to 10K next month.
oh no, it's not the 7 to 10K. It's the problem. It's the smut keeping smut to 7 to 10K.
Oh, so this is actually going to be I'm now taking some of the stories that I wrote for Medium and fleshing them out into longer stories. Um, so this one that I am using is currently 2K, and I'm gonna flesh it out into 7K by actually adding all of the other scenes that are just like referenced.
Got it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm getting plots within plots within plots. Um,
No, this is a very different kind of story than what you're doing.
My main character is has just made out with a new character who's from a different part of town, along with his new friend, who is going to then go with that new character and boink all day. Um,
Fools.
I miss my 20s.
um, Main character is actually going to be going to school and talking to another new friend who is going to get gay bashed and put into the hospital. And turns out that gay bashed friend is dating the one that was just making out with main character and is boinking someone else. And he's going to, be in the hospital visiting gay bashed friend when boyfriend arrives and be like, "Oh shit, I did you."
so So I'm not gonna lie, there was a moment there where you said the abashed character is. You paused for a really long time, and my brain, being what it is, just immediately thought, "Don't say Jussie Smollett. Just don't say Jussie Smollett." Like, thank God you didn't, and I was like, "Oh no, where is this going?"
To prison,
You
apparently.
didn't go that way, and I'm glad you did it, but that was just what my brain did.
See, I'm just trying to keep my energy focused on writing because of the structure of this book. The first 4 chapters happen overlapping each other from different characters' perspectives around the city. So I'm writing a lot of people running for their lives for very different reasons in very different
Oh.
ways. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Sounds like it.
Though if anybody wants to read chapter 1, it is up over at World Anvil now.
Woo.
Yay. Ow. I just turned my neck and it's like pain. Oh,
uh,
I must
yeah,
recommend.
I have a friend who just got into painting miniatures. And it's him and his girlfriend, and he is early 30s. She is early 20s. And so like we were talking and she was working on one of the miniatures. And like she had a magnifying glass sitting right next to her and she wasn't using it, one of the,
Yeah.
ones on the arms to, yeah. And I was like, please use it, please use it, please use it. And she's like, why? And I was like, because I don't want you to destroy your eyes. She's like, no, I see it just fine. I'm like, no, 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 no. Let me tell you from somebody who's really fucking old. Please God, use that magnifying glass.
The sweetness that is my husband came home the other day and said, "Please don't be mad at me. I meant this to be sweet," and handed me a large magnifying glass that is self-illuminating so that I can read books again.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what they have, is she wasn't using it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, stop."
And it was very sweet, and I'm very glad that I can read actual books again.
Yay.
But at the same time, oh, I'm an oldie.
Yeah, yeah.
Your answer is,
I think we
honey, I
don't
am.
have that problem, but, like, I live in constant fear of it, and I just got lucky.
No, the answer is, honey, I am not mad at you. I am mad at the fact that this makes me happy.
Yeah, like very much. Like I love my friend group, but when the next textbook for my next class arrived, and I just held it up in video chat, and I was like, and it's this thick, and the lettering is this small, and everyone's first question was, "Do you have a magnifying glass?" Like not even like as a joke, but out of concern for my
Yeah.
eye health.
Mhm.
because they know me, and I'm just like, I love you all because you know me, but still, damn, you don't have to come for me like that.
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at my own shitty body.
Right. And the fact that you know so much about
Yeah.
You know
I
every inch
also
of
lectured one of my friends who's in my quilting group the other day about not having enough lights at his workstation. He's like, I'm just using the overhead light. I'm like, no, stop. Stop right now. You need more light.
Yeah, there's never enough light. Like I have very good night vision, and so I was one of those people that was like, this is fine. And I still have really really good like night vision. It's just if you want me to read text,
Yeah,
no 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 no. This is not going to happen. That's why I
Oh,
love.
see, I come from a family of night blindness.
So this is where I love my Kindle and get really mad when I can't get the ebook version of something because zooming in has changed my life.
yeah. I read mostly in the dyslexic font. I'm not dyslexic, but it helps, and I don't know why. I just accept that it does.
I'm wondering if I'm getting to the age where my arms are getting too short to read.
Yeah,
You need to get yourself one of these magnifying glasses. They're really cool. It has an LED, a dimmable LED light on it, so you can have
that's
just the
nice.
amount of lighting that you want, and it has like 3 different focal lengths that it operates at. So you can, it's magic, and it's changed my life. And I can't wait
Yes.
till YouTube actually turns on the QVC features because I'm going to be that nightmare goth elderly queen that's going to be sitting there on the stream going, and here's the magnifying glass that you need to really enjoy your books.
Yes, suspense. I have so much light at my sewing station that I feel bad every time I try to show people a close up of things because everything ends up looking completely overexposed. And I'm like, I don't know if you guys could see the gap in this fabric at all, but like, this is the gap in the fabric. I'm sorry, everything is bleach white. It is my lights.
Oh, just thinking about overexposure, I've been feeling so like in shock knowing that a thing exists now because of Strange Aeon's recent update about where she's been. Apparently, she tore a hole in her lung, which
Ooh.
is a thing that you can do. And once you do it once, you are prone to doing it multiple times. This is apparently the 5th time she's
That
had
makes sense.
her lung tear,
Yeah.
and she's already had 2 surgeries to repair to prevent this from happening, which means her lungs can't collapse anymore. So yay! And I'm just sitting here listening to her talk about all this, and she's just like, I'm so, like every other word is like, I'm so sorry, I'm overexposed. I'm so sorry, I didn't set any lights up, and I'm just like, honey, you have a tear in your lung. You shouldn't even be doing a YouTube video. Like all my mom instincts immediately turned on. Like, what are you doing, sweet, sweet summer child? Stop. Get
Can I give
better.
you some chicken noodle soup or something?
Like, oh my goodness. Like, why are you doing a video? Just get better. And I get it because she's like, I am so bored because I've had to lay here and just lay here and not do anything. The doctors just sent me home and went, it looks like it'll heal on its own. Have fun with that. And I'm just like, ah, sweetie, I want to make
I
you
don't
poop.
I don't want it to heal on its own. I want you to fix it. Is that an option?
There are my Star Trek laser lights that just make things whole.
Can you cut me open and solder it together?
Right.
Shoot me with the wellness laser. Just shoot me with the wellness
Yeah.
laser.
Excuse me, I would like some medical intervention, please.
All
Like, I
right.
didn't need to know that you could just like randomly tear your lung. Did not need to know that that was a thing. And oh, I'm just like, I, just broke
This
it.
this is now reminding me of the time that my mother told me her uterus fell, and I was like, "Fell to where?" apparently it's an issue that happens, if you have babies. So I don't have
Yep.
to worry about that. So I guess I didn't find out until like later than I probably should have because there was no reason for me to worry about it. But like, what do you mean it fell?
Okay. I am getting the yawns.
Right, baby. Right. Where is the cradle from Old Age of Ultron? I want my back to tank. Like, I can't tell you how many times I have rewatched the Book of Boba Fett, not just for the sweet, sweet soft boy Rancor, but for just like the dream of being an old person laying in a bath of "it will make me well." Like, where's my sensory
Is
deprivation tank?
terrible with that. Oh my god.
Like, I want a sensory deprivation tank that just heals me.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Every time in sci-fi they go to like the nanobots, I'm like, fuck you.
Like, science. Enough with the dick pills. Do this. It'll fix that too. Like, but it'll fix everything else as well. Just please.
This will fix a lot of things. This is for all my cat people from the last one. It just has to happen.
Let's do it.
This is the catto. A small catto is a kidder,
Oh,
also
no.
called a kidda. Here's a wild kidda. But a big old kidder, that's actually a catto, also called a cape. Sometimes a catto is a big old catto, and that's a fatto catto. If it's 20 times fatter than a fatto catto, it could be a king catto. Run. Cattos hunt many animals, like burbs, cheese boys, and blub blub doggos. Also the elusive dot. Cattos do activities. Some require tongues, like blem, blep, and bave. But not this bave. Cattos hate this bave. Some cattos like to hit the nip. Too much can cause a derp. Cattos mostly are sleeping, but sometimes standing, or watching you pee. This cat is flying on an invisible trapeze. There are many, many kinds of cattos, like the Persian, the Siamese, black catto, naked catto, Cheeto, and the copyrighted grumpy catto. Cattos go many places, like a cardboard box, or a fancy catto condo, or the sliding lap of luxury, maybe even a walk if a human thinks a catto is a doggo. And when a catto freaks out, it might enter the cat dimension. But mostly, cattos just go wherever they want. Visualize your cattos and anything else with Lucid Chart.
Okay, I have one issue with that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not the only one who pronounces it Kitty, right?
Kite, yes.
Kitty. Yeah.
That was
Kitty.
that was weird, right? The way
It
that
was
he
weird.
pronounced it.
It was.
Okay,
Yeah, it was not too
good.
good. He just forgot about the elusive flying cat because all my cats believe that they are birds. And
Burps.
oh, oh, the number of times my cats have fallen recently because they've decided, like, I'm going to jump up into the air and it will be fine. I will not care if there is ground beneath me. And then get really mad like it's my fault that they hit the ground. Like, I gravity.
So Chunk is not able to jump. Um, so like my bed is maybe I've got a fairly high bed. I will say that it's probably like 3 feet off the ground, but it does have like a running board thing on it that like if you stand on it, it's only about 2 feet off the ground then. And Chonk failed to get on my bed about an hour ago. Um, because like he lost his footing on the running board. And he tried to grab onto the bed and claw himself up, but he's also a fat. Yeah, you Chonk. Um, he's got little short munchkin legs, but he is 18 pounds. So he did not have the upper body strength to pull himself up on the bed. And he gave up and he is now in his cat carrier that I just kind of leave on the floor to get him comfortable with because massive road trip in his future.
Cat
Yes,
splat.
very much a cat splat. Oh, yes, and also, like, Kitty like Timmy from
Yeah,
South Park, absolutely.
Fado Cato.
Yeah, Ghetto is good. I mean, I prefer Oladi Common, but
Oh, Lord, he's a coming.
yeah.
All right. I think it is time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Because we are the Shady Pines crew, so we had to do the very, very, very old joke. Anyone have anything going on this week they want to promote?
Olive Raid is currently legible over on World Anvil, as well as and the first chapter of Rebirth, which is the next book in that series. Definitely go over and check it out if you are interested in it. I have to say this is my favorite like goth cat boy that I've been talking about forever, that you all will finally get to meet. And also the Murder Radish. You'll get to meet the Murder Radish for the first time finally, because she is in this chapter.
Excellent. I
So,
think I have game time on Tuesday, possibly RPG on a Thursday. Oh, and next week is Worldwide Write-a-thon. I am not part of that. So I don't know if people want me to stream next week.
Well, I'm not going to any of the Worldwide Write-a-thon things, so whatever you want to do.
yeah. What is this writing thing you speak of?
If you want writing, go to the Write-a-thon.
Right.
We're here for the Cato Splato.
Right.
Okay, I will then plan on just keeping this going next week.
We provide a public service. Like, people
Yes.
will already be burnt out by now and need a place to hide.
So
Worldwide
just a
Write-a-thon.
small note from me. I only just now realized that I put my name in as show in Atlanta when I actually meant it to be snow in Atlanta because it snowed for a very
Oh,
long time today. It did not stick. It's currently 31 degrees though, and I'm sure all of the flowers are in the front yard are dying. But it snowed for at least 4 hours today.
I do believe
Um,
that was the point of this winter storm.
yes.
That's what happened here.
Was a big face fan?
Yes.
okay. Oh, wow. I am going to go to sleep like in minutes. Whether the stream is going or not.
Fight the power. Fight the power of that baby.
Oh, and I was going to say, I actually do recommend Coca-Cola Starlight.
I liked it. What did you think the flavor was?
If you took Coke and Red Pop and mixed them together.
That's fair. I accept that. We decided on raspberry cream soda with that inherent Coke flavoring in it. Just the same way that like Powerade and Gatorade have that very specific flavor of Powerade and Gatorade. It was like a raspberry cream soda, but Coke was what we decided on.
It's not bad.
I'm just obsessing over the Nitro Pepsi because I need to try it, and somebody keeps forgetting to pick some up.
Spence says, no, it's bad. Evil cotton candy flat Pepsi lies.
Yeah,
Yes.
she lacks thumbs.
I'm not talking about Sasha.
I was like, I just talked about Spence, and Brian said she lacks thumbs.
So she can't pick up Pepsi because she doesn't have thumbs.
I wasn't talking about the dog, dear. I'm talking about the one who lives in the doghouse.
All right. So oh wait, my sister bought it, and we did that thing where we passed it around, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is so gross! You have to try it."
Oh, was one of those.
See, I liked it. Oh, but did you have like regular or diet?
Oh, especially in Coke products, that really makes a difference. Especially between their regular, their diet, and their zero brands, because they use very different sweeteners and all the above.
They don't actually. They don't have diet. They have zero.
I pretty sure. So mine was I finished off somebody else's bottle of it, and he normally drinks zero. So I'm assuming that I had zero. I didn't actually think that far or look at it. I don't know for definite, but since he usually drinks zero, I would think that it was a zero.
See, I had regular, and I had to make sure to get regular because I cannot bring uh, artificial sweeteners into the house and share them
Gotcha. What
because
is the sweetener in zero?
I'm not sure.
Zero uses the sucralose, basically Splenda.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, I can have sucralose, but my mom can't have anything.
But I believe they're still using aspartame in their diet sodas.
Yes. Yeah, as far as I know, that is correct.
And those are very different flavor profiles.
Yes, they are. My mother, oh God, which one is sweet and low? That's not aspartame, that's the other
No,
one.
that's saccharin.
Saccharin, thank you. That was what my mother always used growing up. And so I cannot stand it now. But like I am okay with aspartame. I am okay with sucralose. I get really excited when things have stevia in them.
Oh,
Even though
see,
like I used to
stevia
grow
is
stevia.
nasty to me.
Oh, so I used to grow stevia and we would just like eat it. Um
I
which
think
has a somewhat different flavor than when it's used as sweetener and things, but I'm used to it from that.
I have a feeling that stevia is like cilantro, and that some
Hmm.
people can taste something in it that a lot of others can't.
Oh, that's totally
I
fair.
think that's true because I anything that has stevia in it, I spit it out immediately. I'm just like, this is
Mhm.
not edible. This is nasty.
Yeah, we used to just throw like a handful of the leaves in tea when we were making tea to sweeten it.
You cursed monster man, you. Just shut
I
up.
have no idea what he said.
He said, really? Anything? Girl, get in the kitchen and get something cooked. Go.
Do it. Done.
I am gonna go to bed and have cursed dreams
Yes.
Yay!
about overly sexual ghost hunters. Um,
I mean,
um, so I will talk to y'all next time or sometime in between. Who knows? And we're gonna say good night. Good night.
Good night, Gracie.